Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bite Time. My name is Terry Toot. I am your host, and today's show will be called Apple Has Your Eyes. They definitely have your eyes for today, ladies and gentlemen, and for the rest of the year. So, we're going to talk about the new Apple, the 2026 MacBook Neo, which is a 13-inch laptop, ladies and gentlemen. It was just released last month, back on March 11th, and it comes basic, nothing fancy to it. This is something good for someone that's really starting out using the personal computer, laptop per se. And I think this is a very good deal. There's some pros and cons that are attached to it. We're going to talk about that in our show today. This is going to be like a two-part show. Also, we're going to talk about not so much a conflict in the Middle East, but we're going to talk about the materials that are needed or to have our desktop computers, laptop computers, tablets, anything that's computerized. What's going to happen to the price of our devices in the coming future? We're going to talk about that briefly and what that future holds. All right. So let's come on back and have a great show. Live that fun. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Once again, my name is Terry Toot, and my show is called Bite Time. And today's show will be called Apple Has Your Eyes. We hope you do too. All right. So, hey, it's great to be here. I'm going to tell you one thing I was doing for the last few weeks. So, I was using a Rodecaster Duo interface, podcast interface, and I've had it for 3 years, stuck to my closet. Basically, 3 years will be in June, May or June, whatever. And I never used it. I thought it was cumbersome, and you had to get through the tweaks. So I got through that. Then I had to reach out to uh, Rhodes Tech Support, which was 24/7, and I'm grateful for them. And they were fantastic. You know what? I'm gonna give them some love. All right. Okay, calm down. Okay. So now I have switched back to the Focusrite 2i2 Solo, and we're gonna work with this tomorrow because it was taking the Roadcast Duo was taking up a lot of room on my desk. Of course, I already have stuff here. I got a lamp and got the printer. I got other stuff here. So if I move downstairs in the basement, I'll probably use it again. But I've been using that now. Like I said, I went back to Focusrite Solo now. If you notice a difference, just let me know. And I hope everyone's weekend's been good. Uh, Yesterday, me and my lady, we went to the Crownsville, Maryland. I don't know if you've ever been there. That was my first time going to the Crownsville Annual Chicken Wing Festival. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go. I will never be going again. I just thought they didn't even give you a wing for free. So, so me and my lady, we went yesterday, and the chicken wings were not good. I mean, I could cook better than that. Okay, not to brag. And then only thing that looks good they had bands there. I didn't care for, and they had a chicken wing contest. So it was kind of cool. We saw people up there understand, gorging on chicken wings. So, and then after that, we went to see some friends of mine, and hung out, had a good time, especially with them. So, but other than that, it's just a laid back weekend. And also, the NBA playoff has started in full swing yesterday. And we're going to go to some of the scores real quick. My New York Knicks won yesterday against the Atlanta Hawks. That was a 113. I think it was a 102 game. Let me get to that. Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to that from yesterday. That'd be bad. reporting. Okay. So yes, 113, 102 at the Mecca at Madison Square Garden. And the Denver Nuggets beat the Minnesota Timberwolves 116-105, and the Cleveland Cavaliers won 126, 113. And the LA Lakers, who are missing two vital people on the team, they won 107 to 98 over Houston Rockets without Kevin Durant. What is going on with that team? Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, that's crazy with them. And then today we have 76ers versus the Boston Celtics. That's not going to be a pretty game. Um, the Suns versus the Oklahoma City, and the Magic versus the Detroit Pistons. And then we have late game will be uh, Portland versus San Antonio Spurs. All right. So if you like NBA basketball playoffs, I do, and I'm going to be watching. I'm more attracted to the Suns Thunder game. I'm going to check that one out. All right. So on that note, let's slide into the program. So today, like I said, we're going to talk about the new 2026 MacBook that was released on March 11th, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. I don't use Mac, but everyone swears up and down that they are very good computers. I'm not taking anything away the way Steve Jobs took over that company and just took off. God rest his soul. And they're still fabulous. I just don't own one because everything I do is PC. Okay. So, like I said, this was released on March 11th. It's only 13-inch screen, and it comes in a variety of different colors. Your hard drive, you only 256 gig hard drive. So you're gonna have to buy an external if you have a lot of, you know, you do a lot of writing, you want to save stuff. I recommend getting yourself like a 1 terabyte external drive for that. You only have 8 gigs of RAM. That's the we're gonna get into that more. And you're running with Mac OS, okay? It has a built-in graphics card that's integrated in there, okay? So it does have has an A18 Pro chip inside. This is for AI and Apple Intelligence that they have, okay? So that's something to think about. Uh, what else they have? 16 hours of battery life is pretty good. All right. That's pretty good. 13-inch display. That's small. I'm jealous because when I do my podcast, I do use my laptop and it's a 15, 16-inch machine. Okay. I'm spoiled. Taking away 3 inches makes a big, big difference, ladies and gentlemen, because for me, like when I play intro background music, I can't see those songs. Okay. So it's like I had to guess it what the songs are because you don't have the opportunity to like go from one song and then go to the fourth song. You wouldn't have that on a 13. You wouldn't have that visibility like you would have on a 13-inch screen. Okay. All right. The resolution is 2408 by 1506. That's pretty doggone good. That's really good. Okay. Um, it comes with a 1080 camera on here that's built in. Um, it says it has a dual microphone. That's really good. Listen to this price, ladies and gentlemen, $589. Way things are right now because of the situation we have going on. This is a steal. Okay, that's a steal for someone just starting out and in looking portability in computing, and they don't want a tablet. This is perfect for you. A child, let's say 13, 14 years old, mom and dad, this is perfect. Just you have to realize that this is a Macintosh, not PC. Please remember that. So if you want to get a suite of M365, you'd have to get it that it's Mac compliant. Okay, so please remember that. If you want the Office suite, it has to be Mac compliant. It might cost a little more, but just remember Mac compliant. Okay, that's great. What else we got here? Yeah, and it has what else? It has? We talked about the camera, the dual mics in there, and it has two speakers on there. for spatial audio. That's great for $589. You can't beat this, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Uh, it has built-in antiviruses. This is one of the things that Apple's been known to have. They have some of the best virus protection because it's hard to break this software. It really is. I don't care what anyone says. It's extremely hard to break to get into this software. It's been done, but it's extremely hard. Mm, Viruses. There's viruses on all PC and Mac. Okay, but for some odd reason, Mac doesn't have as many problems as Apple does. Okay, so let's keep that moving here, and let's move on. Sorry about that. Okay. So yes, it has a built-in antivirus protection. So you can't go wrong. And also has a feature called File Vault. Automatically encrypts your files so no one can get into them. Fantastic, ladies and gentlemen. It has a built-in like a GPS on here. So say for instance, it gets stolen, like you have an account, log on, boom, it has that GPS telling you find me. You can't go wrong. And it also has the MacBook has a lock key, so you can lock it. Boom. And all those features. That's fantastic. But almost under $600. You know, you can't go wrong. And then it has the biometrics. Like I have it on mine too. I have biometrics on mine. Most computers do that nowadays. But can't go wrong. I mean, for someone that wants to start out and wants to get into Mac, this is a good machine. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons here. It's good for basic computing, which is true. Very good graphic performance. You can't go wrong, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. Very sharp pictures. You can't go wrong with that. The low price. They have limited amount of ports on here. So just remember that. Okay. You only have one USB. One USB port is USB 2.0. All right. And the keyboard doesn't have a backlight. So I'm spoiled. I have a backlight here, and that's one of the things I think that sometimes you're working on stuff late at night, and having that backlit computer, I think that makes a difference. I do. I have a backlit computer, and I'm spoiled. I really am. I am spoiled to have it. But that's the great thing about Apple products. They're very very good. Like I said, I know how to use them. I just never got into the realm of saying, hey, I want this. I got to have this. You know what I mean? And I just think that, the people at Apple are fantastic and very intelligent people, and they know what they're doing, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Like I said, this is a two-part show today. So I know we're having issues with the conflict in the Middle East with the Strait of Hormuz and other things that are going on. So we're going to talk about, basically, ladies and gentlemen, the product that we need to build memory, to build just all different things we need for our computing. Okay, right now, because of the issue that's going on over in the Middle East, the cost is going to be exponentially expensive. Okay, so we need helium, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and Qatar has the biggest stockpile of helium. All right, and they stopped production back in March because of all this unrest that's going on. We need the helium for cooling water, cooling wafers, all right, and photo lithography, and this is needed in the AI chip. Okay, AI chip manufacturing. We need the helium. So now, because they stopped producing it in Qatar, whatever we have over here is going to be really expensive. So now we're going to pass on that cost to us as consumers. All right. Bromine. Okay. Needed for chip fabrication. Okay. 2/3 of that is coming from Israel and Jordan. Now, some stuff is getting shipped but the stuff that's being shipped is going to be costly and very expensive, ladies and gentlemen. So that's another thing too. Memory chips, the DRAM, NANds, all that. Okay, but well, there's some prices, high memory storage devices. That's an issue. Um, People like Samsung and SK Hynix, um, their market value is dropping like crazy. Okay, but they can't get the materials, raw materials, to their facilities in South Korea. Okay, another issue: aluminum. All right, extremely expensive now. United States was relying on Qatar and Bahrain. Of course, all this strife that we're having here, um, it's ridiculous. Copper, right? You need that in your data centers. Okay, um, we're having a hard time getting that shipped back over to the states. Okay, um, another thing too, rare earth ingredients like gallium, germanium, and graphite. Because of the shipping um, problems we have with China, they had the biggest ore of those rare elements, right? So we're having issues with that being shipped over here. Jet fuel. Everyone likes to fly, but guess what? They're jacking up the price of airline tickets because of the gas. Jet fuel is being jacked up. Okay, it's really sad. And so now, not only are the costs for shipping stuff has gone up dramatically, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, we're the benefactor of all these issues that's happening. Okay, we're getting hit. I'm sorry to say that we are. Computer prices will continue to grow and get higher in the years coming. Okay, not only that, a lot of your manufacturers, Asus I use, Dell, HP, you're no longer trying to produce a sub $500, $600, well, except for Apple. They're not going to do that because AI has taken over. And now you need so much memory. You need high-end memory now in your regular laptops or desktops. So that price is going to go up. All right, so you need a lot of memory when you have an AI. Okay, and that's creating what you call a RAM crunch, because people cannot produce it enough. They're having a hard time to get materials to the facilities so they can produce them. Producers that can ship them out, and there's an issue with that, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. All right, AI has really taken over to a point where it's ridiculous. Some of the stuff doesn't even work all that good, but it needs a lot of memory, and we're having problems. Like I said, getting the materials over here, and a lot of the companies are not building that low end a laptop anymore, and it's sad. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna do this. Please stay strong during this time because it's really hazardous, and it's not gonna be. What can we do? Our hands are tied right now, and we just have to hope for the best in the future, ladies and gentlemen. All right. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to end the show. And I hope you have a great day today and enjoy the rest of your day. God bless. Keep hope alive. Be strong. And we'll be back here next week. And I wish you all the best. All right. Take care. And I love you all. Take care.